So this is a representation of a jet breaking the sound barrier. And you can see the air has been compressed into a cone that's literally dense, water vapor and air. And the process of moving through that dense energy of the compressed air creates a sonic boom that you might have heard at some point in your life. And it in the past, jets could not get through that barrier. They weren't designed to move fast enough, and they weren't designed structurally to be able to endure the shock and to move through it with grace rather than being destroyed by it or disrupted and defunctionalized by it. So we would suggest that as a conscious community, it is our hope that the WSS will gracefully move through any barriers that would hold us back from conscious collaboration, and at scale, very ever more evolving, ever more sophisticated in its dynamic and elegant in its dynamic. We would suggest that up until now, the human tribal process on our planet has been the childhood of humanity. It has been acceptable to the planet for us to operate creating pollution, creating waste, burning down forests, overpopulating, damaging things here and there, and creating the symptoms of global warming. And that now there's pushback from the planet that's saying basically it's time for our childhood of ignorance, of self-centeredness, of taproot resonance, of competition, of disunity, of bias, prejudice, and hierarchical dynamics, of profiteering at the expense of the planet and of the rest of humanity. That it's time for that childhood to end. It's time for the birth of a new collective consciousness. We are hoping as an organization to do our part in the process to midwife that attainment of consciousness for humanity. And we want to help do that with many organizations through allowing them to and supporting them in operating as collaborators on the Social Movement Engine platform, to allow many organizations and nations to talk and to gracefully let go of their prior dynamics, their illusions, their ignorance, their self-centeredness, their mistrust, their anger, their hatred, their wounding, their misunderstanding of what will and will not work, what truly is in this world, rather than what they might imagine to be or wish could be, or what they would try to force to be. So it is a time for us as a species to transcend the collective unconsciousness of tribal humanity. How we choose to go about that is up to us. We can go about it through competition and violence and diminishment of population or destruction of the environment, or we can go through it with forgiveness, care, equality, respect, unity, unconditional love all the time, forgiving the entirety of the past, everything that's ever happened up until this moment. We could all choose to collectively forgive, and then immediately tomorrow, or even this evening, begin working together. That's a choice that we could make as a species. Every nation could make that choice today. That is an option. That's not crazy talk. That's not pie in the sky. That is possible. If it wasn't possible, we couldn't even talk about it. It is possible. If we put that message out there, if we on the wire, if we hold that space of consciousness, that intention, that prayed for, mantraed for, intended for, meditated for, collective shift, it will be, and our future will be represented by that unyielding, courageous, unconditionally loving, consistently held intention. So we hope that is something that is realized in your hearts and minds and souls as possible, as as realizable today, now, not 10 years from now, not 8 years from now, not 100 years from now. It's a choice away. That's it. There is no time in that. A single choice can be made instantaneously. It doesn't have to take a lot of time. Choice operates transcendently of time and dynamics and social process and tribal process. We can choose in an instant, and we can be empowered by doing so in an instant, immediately, now, and comprehensively, completely. We want it understood. You all have that power all the time. That's how powerful you are as individuals. That's how powerful you are as a team of teams. That's how powerful our species and our nations are. And we hope that that is an understandable communication and recognizably true and valid.